The work you do will determine the outcome, but whilst you are attempt to do it in silence, our motivation for this morning, I'm sure, is going to uplift you one way or the other to continue to make it happen. Go out there and make it rain today. As you begin your day this morning, we're excited that you're also spending time with us. We're streaming live on Facebook. You can join us and send us your messages. We'll be glad to read from you this morning here on our News Flash segment. Let's say a big thank you to all of you for always staying tuned in. But of course, there's something beautiful coming your way I want to share with you, and that's Big Chef Junior. And it's a way of making sure you increase your recipes. And so please do well to watch when it begins. We've got young talent who've got skills to show you something small at the kitchen. And so when it begins, we're going to be bringing you all the updates on that, so you can also join and be a part of that beautiful show on Joy Prime. It's coming very, very soon. Step Up happens every Sunday. I'm sure yesterday you had a good time watching Step Up. It's 7:30 p.m. every Sunday. You get to win some prizes for yourself and also get to be entertained, and you do not want to miss out on that. And so next week, Sunday, make sure you tune in and enjoy the very best of Step Up. All right, that's what it is. Last Friday, we came your way once again with on a more serious note, and I'm sure you did enjoy every single bit of it. This Friday, we're coming back again, and yes, last Friday, my best segment was actually the loose talk segment of the day. Honorable Katie Hammond, man. But, well, that's what it is. And so watch out for what is going to happen this Friday. It starts at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. every Friday. So do well to tune in and enjoy the best of it. Pizza Man, the Chicken Man says, we've got something beautiful we're giving you. The new year is still here. Yeah, it's not over yet. And so we're giving you so much you can actually ask for. All right. So just go with the family. Some of you are a bit scared going to the family to eat at places. But we are telling you that we've got deals for you here in Accra and Kumasi. So all you need to do is to come with the family, no matter the amount of number you're bringing. We're definitely going to make sure we'll give you some deals that would ensure every single one of you has something to eat. And that's what Pizza Man, Chicken Man is actually saying. So please do well and go there with the family and enjoy the very best of it. All right, we're going to be bringing you some more updates on some of the exciting things you can get on Joy Prime. But in the meantime, we're going to be getting into our newspapers to find out what exactly the front pages are reporting. Then we'll come back to our major issues we'll be looking at this morning here on News Flash. Now, don't forget the energy sector, hasn't really been the sector we're expecting it to be as far as Doomsaw is concerned. Now, Edward Bauer says that the energy sector is broke. We'll be looking at that here on the show. Elections 2024, there has been concerns to implement ROPAA for presidential elections. We'll be looking at that. So people want to Act 699 of the Constitution to be taken seriously. We'll be looking at that issue as well. And also a bit later, we're getting to the other issue of electricity here in Ghana. Is it the time for us to actually put that on electricity? Ben Boachi is not excited about that. We're going to be looking at that as well. But before that, let me quickly run through the front pages of the newspapers. I introduce my guest in the studio, and then we'll get into our major issues here on Newsflash. Now, Daily Graphic this morning is reporting on restructuring external debt, and it says two economists predict growth. It's got the finance minister captured on the front page. You can grab a copy and read all about it. Kumfi Asaman Chidomhirima demands Mills's autopsy report. Family directs Queen to AMA 37 military hospital for copies as well. Page 13 has got a story on that. Nana Kwame Bediako unveils presidential bid, and the 2023 district level elections representation of women low. EC says so. Page 17 has got a story on that. At the back page, we have Daily Graphic Sports, and Salah salvages point for Egypt. The ongoing AFCON. Yesterday, the Black Stars lost. And, well, we'll be getting into it. Nathaniel Lato will be bringing you some more updates on that as well. Government will support Barcelona Kempon partnership. Minister says so. All right. So that's what the back page of the Daily Graphic, I beg your pardon, is reporting on. Now, let's get into the Ghanaian Times. Says the most authoritative newspaper on the front page, the big story, ECOWAS court slams member states for low-level implementation of judgments. And it's got Mr. Apreku Nketia captured on the front page, and you can read about it, page 4. She's got the story on that. Away from that, we've initiated policies to reduce cost of doing business, promote investor confidence. President, His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo is speaking on that as well. Nijodu Klote family of Pokuase appoints new head of family. Page 2 has the story. Quick Credit disburses 1.7 billion Ghana cedis to support businesses, and Mr. Kwe has been captured. The Ghanaian Times front page this morning. Back page has got something on sports. Elephants devour Guinea-Bissau in AFCON 2023 opener, and Osimhen actually rescues a point for Super Eagles against Equatorial Guinea. So Nigerians are actually going on speed of light, and some other nations doing pretty well, some also not doing too well. And if you talk about those who are not doing too well, you might as well want to put Ghana in that category. But we are hoping that our fortunes, will become better in the ongoing AFCON. Now, Daily Guide this morning says Mills' family demands autopsy reports, and losing old hands will affect Parliament. Minority says so. Otunfuo charges police over election 2024, and it's got the IGP paying homage to Otunfuo. And away from that, Obuo pushes for Asante Achem South NPP slot. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Guide. Now, away from that, at back page, Equatorial Guinea hold Nigeria. Yantichi admonishes Chris Hilton, and the Elephants open the AFCON campaign in style. And that's the back page of the Daily Guide. Let's get into the middle page somewhere. We can find some entertainment stories. And Pastor almost destroyed my family, Vivian Jill says so. And Ketchu Kwame appeared to support NPP campaign. Rabia attacks Shafaila over Shatawale Stoneboy Samini concert. That's also captured in the middle page of the Daily Guide. And government official creditors reach agreement, and also GMA launches GBA 2023. That's the middle pages of the Daily Guide today. Let's get into the Ghanaian publisher. NDC reconciliation thanks bloody mosquito runs for his life. Azoka treasure beaten. Baumia Samira mourn with family of bodyguard, and pressure mounts on Baumia Mahama to pick women as running mates. ADB shareholders approved 2 billion Ghana cedis capital injection, and Works and Housing Ministry refutes Ken Japon's claim against Asenso. That's the Ghanaian publisher. The Daily Analyst says that Samira Baumia's bodyguard laid to rest, and it's got a picture of the late Fuseni Mumini Mohi. So rest in perfect peace. 2024 elections, we won't go to the Supreme Court. Mahama charges and says that we will win at the polling stations. We now feel the police in our lives. So Otunfuo hails Dampare, and the conjunction of prisons. Sosu initiates community sentences law. Help us get at a Mills' autopsy report. Mills' family begs Akufo-Addo. That's the Daily Analyst first morning here. And so that will be the front pages of the various newspapers here on News Flash. We're going to be getting into the major conversation, and let me introduce my guest in the studio. So lawyer Philemon La is a member of the NDC National Communications team, and he's joining us this morning, his family, to this big network, and it's always a pleasure to have him here. Bro, good morning. How are you doing?
My brother.
Everything good?
My God's grace.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my brother.
How is it going?
Everything is fine, except that the Black Stars...
You were disappointed.
Black Stars.
It's just the beginning of the tournament. Anything can happen,
How you start is important.
Absolutely.
How you start. It's important. It's true that in Argentina, Messi and Argentina lost their first match and then were able... But when you look at how the Black Stars played yesterday, I doubt.
It doesn't
really
give
doubt.
hope.
I want to be hopeful. I want to believe in the tenacity and strength of this team. But it doesn't look like there's so much to be hoped for.
Okay, let's see how it turns out. Now, Mr. Bernard Mona is here with us this morning. He's former national chairman for People's National Convention, PNC, and convener of Arise Ghana. And I've been hoping to have one of his berets. Now, I don't want any one on the market. I want one of the one that he uses. So he's promised to give me one. Mr. Mona, good morning. How are you doing?
Morning. It still feels like we are in 2023.
But it's not 2023, is it?
It's not 2023, but it feels like we are in 2023.
What are the indicators making us feel that we're still in 2023?
Packets are dry, and I'm sure that you struggle to mobilize to come to work this morning, despite that your birthday was just a week away.
Exactly.
And I still need to congratulate you for the feats that you have achieved in life. On the contrary, I think that the Black Stars are up to win AFCON.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I think they are up to win.
After yesterday's performance?
After yesterday's performance. Because after listening to Dede, listening to Jiku, and Richard Ofori, you have no doubt that the players themselves feels that they could have done better. And so coming up against a formidable side, Egypt, they will put in their all. And I think they will win that game. Wow. And then suddenly Ghanaians will start to jump onto the roof. Ghanaians fear defeat. But if you want to engage in sports, you must know that defeat is part of it.
Yeah.
Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Francis Quino, when I posted that victory to the Black Stars, on picking me on arrival, just told me that you are the only Ghanaian who has confidence in your Black Stars.
That I agree with. Yes.
You know, but
I was very quiet too.
Yeah, but I am hopeful. Fancy what you just spoke about Argentina. Which country beat Argentina in their opening match? Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The Saudi Arabia. Who could have thought? And after that, they declared a public holiday.
Yeah.
And up to now, they are still celebrating that they are the only country to defeat the world champions. Yeah. And so I am happy that probably we did not start on a very flourishing note. Starting on this background will mean that we have to put in everything. The coach has to review his tactics, bringing in his most experienced players to start the game. Yeah. And then I can assure you that where I sit, my confidence is high. Let no Ghanaian have any BP issues. We will qualify.
Wow. And eventually win the competition.
Yeah.
So, well, you're making me believe that we have hope. So maybe this morning I'm going to be as positive as possible.
Otherwise,
I've never been.
Otherwise, in the economic crisis you find yourself, you will not have come here. It is hope that brought you here.
That I agree. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We don't take your presence here for granted. And we're going to be getting into our very issues that we're looking at today. So, the energy sector, I'm sure if you're aware, in the past few days, weeks and months, we've been experiencing power outages. Some people believe that Doomsor is back. Others are saying it is not back. It's just that we're in crisis that we're going to be getting ourselves out of in a couple of, days or weeks, because the energy sector will be working on that. But one person who happens to be the Member of Parliament for Bongo, Honorable Edward Bauer, believes that the energy sector is broke, and he thinks that the earlier we start looking at it from that angle, the better for us as a nation. And he says that they're speaking in an interview as to whether what is the situation as we have it now, simple and short, the sector is broke in his own words. That's all. That's the situation we find ourselves in. Now, is the energy sector broke? If the energy sector is broke, in the couple of months to come, what is our state of the energy sector going to be? That's the big question that we're all asking ourselves this morning. You can send your contributions to us, your concerns to us as well. If you've been experiencing Doomsor or power outages, if you want to put it that way, let us know which area is that experience coming from. And our WhatsApp line is also active as well, so you can drop your messages over there. Let us know what is the situation in your area where you live. Is the power outages becoming unbearable? If it is, what do you think we should be doing about it? But from Honorable Bauer, the energy sector is broken. That's what he thinks. Mr. Mona, is the energy sector broke?
There's no doubt that we are worse than broke. There is no doubt that not long ago, particularly on assumption of office by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on 5th January 2017, they started proclaiming that the erstwhile government had secured excess capacity and that we were paying for energy that we did not have use of. But for the records, Ghana has always had some excess capacity. Because if you recall how Akosombo Dam came into being, that at the time, Buzia and co were saying that the total energy consumption of Ghana was about 50 megawatts. And a big generator could do so for us. And Kwame Nkrumah took an initiative to construct a 600 megawatt hydro dam. What it meant that we're going to have an excess of 550 megawatts of excess energy. So Valco was brought in to take about 300 megawatts with the surplus exported to countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Burkina Faso, and so on. So even at the inception of our energy sovereignty, we realized that we needed to have excess capacity. At a certain point when Ghana was characterized as Dumso, leading one of my mentors, PLO Lumumba, to describe that the Dumsorization of Africa must stop. You recall that speech. It was evident that we lacked capacity, generation capacity. And generation capacity was the basis for which we had Dumso. Because Rawlings did not fix the generation capacity in spite of the fact that he brought in the energy mix. So we we did not concentrate on only hydro, but we also moved into thermal. And we were thinking about renewable energy. And so we needed to look at it. Kwame Nkrumah, of course, also looked at angles like nuclear energy and the benefits associated with it and all that, even at this time. So Kufuor did not fix it. After Rawlings, Kufuor did not fix it. In fact, the most hilarious thing we did under Kufuor is that we went and brought international evangelists to come to Akosombo Dam to raise their hands, to pray so that madness will fall into Akosombo Dam for us to have sufficient water. Prayer alone does not solve a problem. God gave us intellect. And when we use that, we are able to overcome the challenges that we face as humans. You don't go and sit down and start praying and hoping that madness will fall. It will never fall. Then fast forward, at Mills John Mahama said, yes, I met this challenge, I'll fix it. And truly, there was a minister responsible for power who put his neck on line that if he was not able to fix the energy situation by the November, he was going to resign. I mean, Dr. Kobna Donko.
Yeah.
And in spite of the fact that we restored, or we even now had excess generation, we had not pumped it into the system. And pressure was on him. He resigned because he wanted to fix Dumso. And if you put up the generation and you did not put it into the system. So we solved Dumso. Akufo-Addo took over and said that we had excess capacity. We had done, what do we call that? We had done excess PPAs, and that these excess PPAs are responsible, right? Are responsible for the kind of energy depth that we have. But we did not see significant departure from that. They complained about Ameri. They went and extended Ameri and even inflated figures leading to Ajako, Boachi, and the difficulties that he had, and eventually he had to be sacked. Today, all the predictions that were made, that getting to 2024, 2025, if Ghana did not add more generation, we're going to consume the so-called excess capacity and start having a deficit. As we speak. It's turning out to be true. Because since Akufo-Addo took over, I have not seen that they have added to the generation capacity of this country. Give me one. It is now that I've heard the Minister for Energy saying that they are going to add about 750 megawatts to our generation. So it's yet to be consummated. What it means is that we are in crisis because we are running out of generation capacity. In addition to that, we still owe the IPPs, that's the independent power producers, who have, as with many contractors, they give government, they do government bidding, and when it is time for the government to release funds for them, Ken Ofori-Atta is pussyfooting. And that is the situation we have today. That we are not able to even pay those who have helped us to sustain the power in this country. So if my brother Edward Bauer, the MP for Bongo, who has also worked at the Ministry of Energy before, right, and of course, don't forget, he also worked at the GFA, so he also understands football a bit, is telling us that the ministry is broke and it is responsible. It is the brokenness of the ministry that is responsible for our current energy problems. I cannot challenge it because you remember that when I left here with Eben and he was supposed to buy some tickets for me to go up north and he declined. I'm now returning to Accra. And every day we experience about 2-3 times lights off. Eben, you are welcome. I'm done.
Thank you so much. And on that note, let me introduce Honorable Azanate, joining us this morning, former member of Parliament for Ablekuma Central Constituency. Honorable, good morning. Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
But just admire that I can be an MC. See the way I welcome you.
Very, very, very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. You made it so beautiful for me. I must say a big thank you.
Now you should thank your producer, right?
Yeah.
Brenda is a funny and skillful.
I never saw it coming. I had no idea. So, I mean, come on. I was speechless. And I mean, you made it a good one for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Honorable, once again, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Great. I'm going to come to you. We just started off with the energy sector, so I'll come to you, Philemon. How do we look at this situation? Broke or no broke? Doomsaw is back or not back?
Proverbially, they say that if your mother is dead and you say she's sleeping, it's your own mother. And I think this government has time without number continuously lied to the face of the Ghanaian people. The government, where things are white, would say it is black. Where things are black, would say things are white. And we are tired of the lies. The evidence is apparent on the face of the record. The country is broke already. We know about the state of the economy. We know about how Bawumia has run this country into a ditch. We know about it. So this country cannot hold. As we stand, there are salaries that are in arrears for NACO workers have not been paid. There are several instances. The economy just can't stand. Interest rate is over the roofs. Inflation over the roof.
Promised a very good year.
Do you want to believe a president who said that he was going to turn around the fortunes of this country in a number of days and failed? A president who promised to make life better for you and I and failed. You want to believe him? In his last year in office, for 7 years he has done nothing, and you want to believe that in the last year, where he has promised that his preoccupation in 2024 would be to elect the failed Bawumia. This is the man you want to believe? Akufo-Addo, 7 years, he's been on top and done absolutely nothing. My brother, the people of Ghana deserve better. The people of Ghana repose their confidence in Akufo-Addo and Bawumia to change the fortunes of this country, to improve on what the NDC did. And we have been given a raw deal. On the matter of the energy issues, my chief has so eloquently elaborated what the matters are. But as we speak, we have a peak demand of 3,680 megawatts in this country. But the available capacity is 3,363. So there's already a deficit of about 300 megawatts. This government, Bawumia, is publicly recorded to have said that they have excess capacity. They spent 17 billion Ghana cedis to get excess capacity. This is a very simple calculation. If you have excess capacity, that means there's excess energy you have paid for that is lying and waiting for you. If there's a reserve waiting for you, why do we have this problem? When there's a case that there's a deficit and you have a reserve, bring the reserve and let the people of Ghana enjoy electricity. So it tells you the lying nature of Baumia. And I think it's important that leaders are able to be honest to their people. Baumia has lied to this country one too many, and we have been quiet about it. We have recorded it, we have heard him. We know that this country is broke. If this country is not broke, you will not inflict on us this hardship. And see, the issue is even, I don't know if we can merge the discussion of the increment in VAT on this matter, but I think that it's just so untenable. Does this government care about you and I? Does this government care about the poor national service person who is struggling to pay rent and has been posted in some part of this country? Does this government care about the teacher whose salary cannot even last 1 week? Does this government care about nurses? Does this government care about lecturers who are threatening to go on strike very soon? Does this government care about the drivers? Increase in fuel prices. My brother, how much do you buy as fuel for your car? How much?
It depends on the
How
car.
much? No matter what car you use, the fact is that fuel prices have increased and has become unbearable. Gas that you used to cook at home, how much is it today? Basic necessities, even food items, tomatoes, onions, oil, rice, even gari. Things have become so high. Prices of things have become so high, and this government says aloof and then does nothing. And I think that, you see, when leaders begin to lie, like Baumia has lied, by saying that the government has spent 17 billion in increasing excess capacity, and we have now been confronted with the problem of Dumso, people in Nankpanduri, people in Bato, Mepe, Aveyime, people in Pram Pram, people in Sugakope, people in the Brong-Ahafo region, people in the Oti region, people in Central region. Everyone is facing the scourge of Dumso. In the last week, how many times have you had Dumso? During Christmas, people were even in Dumso. People were in Dumso. And let's remember, what is the government? Yes. You can imagine, even on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
Wow.
On Christmas Day.
Quickly go to Facebook, just say, even on 25th December.
But I've seen all of this. Let's situate the argument around the two issues of what the MPP's record on energy sector intervention has been. What is their record? I can see that during the NDC's time, we invested in Ituabo gas. Ituabo gas, which is now what is feeding for thermal generation of electricity. But this government has not even been able to pay. My chief mentioned the issue of the IPPs. They are not able to pay the IPPs, the independent power producers. And their failure to pay these IPPs is one of the reasons why we cannot even have power. So the NDC invested in Ituabo gas. The NDC also worked on Ameri, which they came to even scandalize. We know of the NDC's introduction of ESLA, the energy sector levy. And we left in excess of over 20 billion for this government. What have they done with ESLA? They've come to mess it up. Every reserve of funding that we have left for this government to come and continue to improve on the work of the NDC has been messed up. So when the people of Ghana say we are suffering, we mean that you have failed us. We mean that you have failed us and that now things are so difficult. Salaries are not enough. Interest rates are over the roof. Cost of doing business is so high. Go to Abosokai. Go to Abosokai. The cost of spare parts. My brother, pray your car does not spoil anytime soon. Or your motorbike. Or even your bicycle. Because the cost of spare parts have gone over the roof. See the number of taxes. I don't even want to talk about taxes. A government that said they were going to move away from taxation to production. Are now the champions, the lords, the grandmasters of taxation. I saw a meme on social media about the recent cookathon, the meme about, and then singathon. We've heard about taxathon. Taxathon. Where Baumia, taxathon, Baumia and Akufo-Addo are the lead. They have effortlessly won the taxathon because no country in Africa has taxed as much as Akufo-Addo has done. No leader of any economic management team in Africa has been as scandalous, as failed, as inefficient, as incompetent as Baumia. Did they not present Baumia to us as a wonder kid, as a solution, as a salvation? Is that not what they presented to the Ghanaian people? So if you are the leader of the economic management team, your responsibility is to ensure that there's a certain fluidity between macroeconomics and microeconomics. That is your responsibility.
That argument
That is your core responsibility.
They've always back that argument with the fact that he's not the one who's making the executive decision.
No, but the point is that
this is the time that if he's elected, he's
the point is that the economic management team presents ideas, presents policies,
which the president would decide.
And this president himself has said that.
But
my brother, you follow the fact that the president had entrusted the economy in Bawumia's hands. You don't remember
absolutely,
that?
But
he said that he had a fantastic economic management team. John Bafo, Osei Mensakutu, Bawumia, Alan Chiromantin. You don't remember that famous speech?
Yes, but his issue is
as
that
the savior.
The vice president issue is that he's not the decision maker.
No, that is a lame
implementation of those.
I think it's a lame, lazy approach out of the mess he has created. It's a lazy way out. Because what we know in the public domain is the fact that the president has entrusted the running of the economy in your hands. The president is on record to have said that the economic management team is the best ever. And that Bawumia is leading that team. And now we are seeing the fruits. And the fruits are that they have failed monumentally, led by the incompetent, inefficient.
Okay.
Let me not use another word, but Bawumia has failed this country.
Very well. Let me move on to Honorable.
Let me say good morning again to my brothers, more especially the newly horse rider in town. I'm thinking that coming to Accra from the north, he'll be bringing one of the horses to start the horse riding in Accra, or maybe ride on a horse from the house to Joy Prime on Mondays. So I welcome him. In fact, but he was throwing challenge to certain people to come and join if they think that they can ride horse.
Encouraging them because most of them have waist problems. So I wanted them to strengthen.
I'm surprised that he's in Accra because as of yesterday evening, I was watching his status. This guy, is he coming?
Apparently, yesterday I was in Tamale to commiserate with the family of Ajia Antimuni.
Okay.
The famous Wache. Yeah. All of you have enjoyed the Wache. And yesterday they were doing the Adwa in Tamale. So I was there in the company of Haruna Idrisu and many others. And then one of our brothers too was marrying. So it was funeral and merrymaking at the same time.
So this wasn't a horse journey?
Yesterday was not a horse journey.
The horse journey was about a week. Because when I checked because every day I go. The dress tells me because today he's in blue, the next day he's in long sleeve. So I was monitoring. I said, the next time I have to go and join this guy.
No, actually I'll take you to Bema Camp. That's where I was taught how to ride. And
I don't go to Bema Camp. I don't go there.
No, so they've stopped slapping.
And then let me say good morning to the second lady, and also condolence to the family of my brother and friend Fuseni, who lost his life 3 days ago on their way to Kumasi. It's very sad that such a thing happened. He's a very nice gentleman, very respectable guy. Some of us, when we want to see second lady, we have to call him because these are people that are very close to the second lady. And I pray that the good Lord will strengthen the wife and the children, especially the twin brother, because they are twins. And I mean, in difficult times, no matter what it is, when you see the brother, you definitely remember the twin as well. So I pray to God to strengthen them. You asked whether we are having doomsaw or we are broke. And I heard Bernard and my brother, especially Bernard, was asking of whether we have been able to add an additional grade to what we have existing. And it was of the view that when we're having crisis during President Kufuor's administration, we have to call pastors to go to Akosumu to go and pray and all those things. The president, on several occasions, has come out for us to understand as Ghanaians that we are having challenges economically. And I know for a fact that one of the major problems during the John Mahama Atamil's administration and John Mahama Emisata administration was economic crisis to pay for the those who supply the electricity. At that difficult time, we slept in Dunso for almost 4 years. Almost 4 years. At that time, I can remember vividly that we cannot come to Joy Prime without you putting on your gents and making noise. I know at that time, students have to go and sleep in people's shops and people's company to enable them to study.
It's exaggeration, but we solved it.
I just kept quiet when we were talking.
Philemon, let him finish.
People went through a lot. Businesses were collapsed under your administration. People were sacked from their workplace under your administration. And that increased the number of unemployment in this country. John Mahama, who you think that is the famous, is the savior of this country, John Mahama. If you don't have anybody in your party, John Mahama, somebody who, during his administration, people lost their life because of doing so. We're talking about John Mahama.
You don't just pass a comment like that without proof. It's prove it.
Don't worry. I don't go ahead.
Because I want us to. We are in a new year. That's why I keep quiet.
No,
I can equally interject when you were talking.
I don't intend to interject you, but if you pass a statement like
Yes, but if you are lying, I'm sure you will get.
Okay, then let's hear you prove it.
So why don't you ask me
Let's
to
let him
prove
prove
it
it.
when I say people go and study in
I just don't want to. I'll have my bite, but this one prove it.
No, go ahead.
Prove it. It's not true.
Philemon, let him finish.
People lost their lives. In Kumasi, even in my Dansoma here, people lost their life at the cost of doing so.
Because of the situation at hand.
Yes. They lost their lives. And today you sit here.
How so?
Today you sit here and you talk about, you see, the only problem you have is Dr. Bawumia. You see all the things, and Bawumia, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, is Bawumia contesting with John Mahama, and Bawumia will beat him hands down.
I'm sure it's the
The
reason
challenges that we are having.
Bawumia, because
We have challenges. I listened to Bauer on Saturday, and the issues that he raised. That yes, one of the major problems that we are facing is we are owing the IPPs at the cost of, I think, about 20 million or something.
Yeah.
I listened to the Deputy Minister for Energy, Ejapa Mansa, admittedly that yes, we have some debts that we need to settle. Which out of it, we have paid this amount of money. And then TOR have also paid this amount of money. We are left with this to pay. So by so doing, since we have been able to pay at least about 60 to 70% of it, we are hoping and believing that by the end of this month or next month, it will be settled. And that I even listened to, I think, Jinapo on Asempa FM, suggesting that yes, the pipeline that we are using does not belong to Ghana. It belongs to an investor. So the best thing we have to do is to also try to get our own pipeline, because we are not using the gas that don't belongs to the gas belongs to us.
Yeah.
So if we have the gas, then the best thing we need to do is to get our own pipeline, so we will not rely on them, so that when we are owing them, it becomes a challenge to us as Ghanaians. And I think it's a perfect suggestion that he has made. So when you come and you sit here, and you said, we don't have this. Yes, I will not come and sit here and say that, yes, all is well with us, especially when it comes to the economy of this country. Yes, there are challenges. but it cannot be compared to your time, where we have challenges for good 4 years. You are complaining that, oh, there has been light off on and off for about a week.
It's been more than a week.
3 weeks. 1 month.
Yeah,
and you are complaining. But for 4 years, you were clapping for John Mahama. I know, if I'm not mistaken, maybe at that time you were still in law school. You were having difficulties. 4 years. So for me, yes, there are challenges. The Ministry of Energy have come out to say that yes, there were some challenges, especially in owning the IPPC, and they are trying their possible best to pay, which for me, I think is a welcome news. And Mercer said something. He said, for what they have done so far, we will not be having the difficulties that we are experiencing today.
So that's a permanent solution we are looking at.
If you are owing somebody, and that's the source of where you get your power, and you are able to pay the person, you get a relief. But for me, I still believe that yes, if what Jinapo said, that it was in the pipeline, and somebody will say that for politicians, we always say it's in the pipeline, that there's a need for us to get our own pipeline, then I will also urge the Ministry of Energy to speed up with the process of we getting our own pipeline than relying on somebody's own that we are in debt. It will be a problem for us. I believe Bernard can help me on this. There's a dam that is being constructed in the northern region. I think in Bagbane's constituency or something. That is also going to help us. Kufuor started the Bui Dam, and then this one. You see, day in and day out, the generation that we get keep on increasing. There are some villages, there are some places that we don't have what is called electricity. I know there are some places in Accra today, some villages in Accra. You don't have. So the more you extend electricity to some places, the more you need more to supply to the people, which I strongly believe that it's time for us to expand our generosity so that Ghanaians will not be having challenges as we are expecting.
But there's no money. The country does not have money. Do we have money to get this new pipe that we're going to get? Do we have money to expand these capacities we are looking at?
When the situation becomes so difficult and you don't have money in the house, you try every means to get it. I believe strongly that if we determine to have this pipeline, wherever government will find money to ensure that we get this pipeline done, I believe government will do that. I strongly believe that. And I strongly believe that the Minister for Energy and his deputies will work hard to ensure that we get the money to get it done. Provided.
The first money we need to find now is money to pay the independent power producers for the services they have rendered for our nation, for which they have not been paid. They are in crisis and they are threatening to withdraw. If we have to find money to build a pipeline, at a time when we owe people who have delivered services and we are not dealing with them, it tells the level of insensitivity of the government.
But part of the money has been paid. That's why I'm saying that I strongly believe that the Minister for Energy and his deputies will ensure that we get to the bottom of these IPCs to pay them and then focus
and getting our own
get our own pipeline, just as Abu have said, which I personally agree with him on that. But yes, I agree. Because look, if we have your own gas, why should I go and rent somebody's own and becomes a problem for me? So I think that it is the best thing for us to get our own pipeline to benefit.
One other issue, I'll come to you, Philemon. One other issue also has been the fact that we don't have a timetable we are all looking at in terms of the doom so that we're experiencing.
Because there's no doom so there's no need for a timetable.
But it keeps occurring. So if people are aware that at this point...
So there's no need for a timetable.
Is it that the government does not want to get to that point, and so we're trying to make
that is why we are trying...
Because people will be there and then there's light off.
That is why...
Light off. So
that, me, honestly, to be honest...
You've not experienced that?
I've not experienced light off in the beginning of this year. I experienced light off, I think somewhere 18, 19 thereabouts. But from 20th to date, I have not experienced light off in my area. To be honest and sincere with you, I will not come and sit on this station and then lie. From the 20th, 21st up to today, I have not experienced light off in where I live.
Okay.
I don't know about others, but the deputy minister said it clearly that
we've not gotten to
we have not gotten to a stage where we have to do load shedding, because the difficulty is not about what the NDC went. Ours is different, and the debts, we have paid this amount of money to them, and therefore we will not be having those challenges. I know for sure that definitely the rest of about 7 million or whatever will be paid to them. And just as Bernard, yes, if you are owing somebody, the person will not be happy that you have not paid and rather enjoying. Like you are owing somebody and then you go to a tour bar and then you'll be buying
too much
meat on your food. When I see it, I'll be upset. Either I'll take the food away or maybe I'll just throw it away because you are owing me and you are enjoying. But someone will say that, so if I'm owing, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't enjoy. But the point is that when you are owing and you are enjoying, it becomes a problem for you. Because that means you are not human. You want your brother or your sister to suffer whilst you are enjoying. No. So for me, I believe strongly that yes, government will do everything possible to ensure that what we went through in the hands of John Mahama, Emisata, John Maha Atamels will not go through those things again.
Okay. Philemon, yes. Then we'll try and get some messages. Guys, let me know when the messages are ready. Do we have the messages? Philemon, give me a moment. Let me try and then get some messages and then we can move on. This one over here says, good morning, KMJ and your panelists, especially Bernard. Please, let's not compare the Black Stars to Argentina. I have no hope for them. Richard from ROPAA, West Region. And it says that, please tell the NPP man that we voted Mahama out in 2016 because they said they were coming to solve our problems. So he should stop the comparison. JDM for president 2024. That's Richard again over there. Let me go to Pig Farm and see what's there. Alhaji Hamza, Pig Farm, he says, good morning, KMJ, my brother. A lot of people listen to you every morning, but I'm disappointed for you to allow the NPP man to move on with his submission without any evidence. It's not fair. According to him, people lost their lives because of doing so in Mahama era. Please be fair to your listeners. Let him prove it. KMJ under President Rawlings, Kufuor and Mills, they were doomed so, but President Mahama took the responsibility to fix the problem. President Kufuor took pastors to pray at Akosomo for rains to fall. Have we forgotten about it so soon? We are where we are as a nation simply because of the arrogant postures of functionaries of this government. They always feel they know it all. Okay, thanks for your thoughts and your contribution this morning. Let me see if we have another one over here. Okay, this one I'm trying to get. Maybe I'll get that later. Good morning to you and your guests. My regards to Madame Rosalind, wherever she is. Rosalind is under the weather. She'll be coming back very, very soon. We are now slaves in our own country. After all, the lies and massive stealing, this is where they brought us to. But we thank God that we are now in 2024. So very soon, they will see the pay of their super incompetent and corrupt leadership. My regards to Alhaji Misbah, incoming MP for Miom constituency. Sumani Hamza sent in that one. Let me go up and see what's here. So this one says, good morning. At least the host, you are a Ghanaian and an intelligent person, so who is abreast with challenges of the energy sector. Therefore, respect us, the viewers, by putting your propaganda panelists right to make the program livid. The practice of not allowing propaganda on your platform has said good morning, Ghana, apart from the other morning shows. If a panelist talk about doing so during Mahama without defining what it was and the cause, must not be allowed. You can also get your messages coming through this morning. Let me get to see this one, what it's saying. Life is a journey with problems to solve and lessons to learn. So when you go through this one, it's motivation for us this morning. I don't know how we're going to go around that, but let's leave the motivation for now. We'll come back and get on the motivation. You can also send your messages. We're streaming live on Facebook, so you can drop your comments over there as well and let us know what you think about our conversation this morning. We're looking at the energy sector. And the MP for Bongo says that the energy sector is broke. But of course, my guests in the studio are making very, very, great points when it comes to that. So you can also join us with yours. Philemon, let me get to you. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to make the point that it's only those that live in gated communities like Trasaco, other plush areas of Accra, who have a backup supply of energy, who can say that they don't feel doom so.
So
but for me,
so Honorable's area is a generator power.
I'm just saying that only those who live in gated communities can say on authority that they don't experience doom so. But we, the people, me, the masses of our country, we are experiencing doom so. Chief Bernard has told you, Upper West.
He experiences on
even on Christmas Day, I get it all around the country, across the length and breadth of this country. People are experiencing doom so. And you see, one thing about leadership is that if you can at least be honest, honesty is an important ingredient of leadership. I heard Honorable say that it's just been about a month or so, so there's no need for a schedule. I mean, how scandalous. How scandalous. Somebody runs a cold store, has fish, meat in his freezer. You don't give him a schedule that you're going to turn off the lights on so and so date. The person's meat and fish gets rotten, and you sit on TV and say, there's no need for a timetable. What do we take the Ghanaian people for? What do we take the Ghanaian people for? They deserve better. After his very lengthy speech, I didn't hear one intervention by the NPP government at improving the energy sector. What the NDC did was that there's a cumulative problem since 92, even in fact since Nkrumah, to all the military leaders, down to Rawlings, to Kufuor, no intervention had been done to increase the energy strength of our country. No, none at all. John Mahama takes up the responsibility, goes ahead to intervene. A tribal is set up. Now we have constant supply of gas. We have Ameri. We have ESLA, which is raising revenue to support the energy sector. We hand over 230 million Ghana cedis to you for you to come and continue with the strengthening of the energy sector. And you come and fail abysmally. And all you can sit on TV is to say that we do not owe the Ghanaian people a timetable for doing so. I am offended. The people of this country are offended. Fish and cold store owners are offended. People whose weekly food, they have cooked food for the week and put in the freezer. Doomso comes and then spoils all the food. They are offended. The mass of our people are offended.
We need a timetable for.
And to say that Doomso was only a week, only a month, it has been only a month since the inception of your government. Tell me one. What has been your intervention on energy? Tell me. What has been your intervention? None. And the NDC does all of this and come and mess it up and sit on TV and then say the people that are suffering doomsday do not need a timetable?
Honorable, do you hear people, apart from where you live, speak about the fact that they're experiencing doomsday?
I'm on lots of good platforms. So yes, people talked about their lights going off. That's why I've said that. We have experienced such problem for about a month or less. That's why I said that.
It's more than months, though. It can't be less than months.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more than months.
But cannot be
because
compared.
if you're even looking at it from October till now.
But cannot be compared for 4 years.
It wasn't 4 years during NDC's time.
It cannot be.
Oh. Tell us your record. That's
you see,
what we're asking for.
The reason why I always want to flow is that that's the more reason why I give you the opportunity. When you're talking, I just keep quiet. So please, you're in a new year. When you start with this, you end with it too. When you start with this kind of things, so just be gentle. I know you are fighting for Mama to come to get some position so that you want them to see that you are very strong. But just take your time.
This is just the intervention of an ordinary Ghanaian.
Not Trish.
Who cares about the improvement of this? I don't do this.
Okay, Honorable, wrap up.
So
that we'll move on.
Cannot be compared to your 4 years. That people went through a lot. I will not come and sit here and say that yes, all is well, or that people are not going through difficulties in their various areas, as you are saying. But as I said, that from 20th to 21st, in my area, I have not experienced that. Others have. And therefore, I will not come and say that, because I have not experienced and others have experienced it, therefore, there's no need for it. But what I'm saying that you were asking of a timetable. That is, Why shouldn't we come out with a timetable? And I'm saying that, look, our challenges cannot be compared to theirs. Because theirs was worse. And I repeat it, that people lost their life through their time, during their time.
And people want you to substantiate that. They want you to state why people died out of doing so.
So how can people fridge and then, how do you call it, food, as he's mentioned, spoil during our time?
This is personal knowledge.
Honorable, but this is yours is a bit.
If I'm in my room, if I'm in my room, so you let me explain.
Yours is death we're talking about here, right?
Let me tell you.
I'm sure everybody had experienced light off and.
If I say that people lost their life,
but what you're saying,
if I say people lost their life, that don't mean Muhammad was the one who killed them.
Oh, so that
what I'm saying is that
justly.
So they lost their lives because there was what?
There was exactly. They lost their life because the power atmosphere was not stable. Today, tomorrow,
so
today.
it was out of depression or it was out of what?
No. The light comes, go, 5 minutes, bang. 2 minutes, bang.
Electrocuted.
Then
because of the on and off.
Exactly.
How many people died?
Oh, there's somebody and the wife. They attend SDA church. There's someone. You can go there.
They were electrocuted.
Yes.
Because of doing so.
Yes. Go to Kumasi, the same.
Bring the autopsy report.
Oh.
Bring the autopsy. I mean,
you're asking about autopsy report here.
This too simple.
Go and
accuse someone of murder.
Go and give Atamos report to the family. Then come and ask me this one.
You see, shifting the goalposts. The fact of the
matter. You're asking about autopsy report.
I am
asking the family member of the people.
Ask him.
Do I work at the
what is your intervention on anything?
Do I work at the mortuary?
Tell me one. What is
go and give Atamos autopsy report to the family.
What is your intervention?
Okay.
Tell me one.
Mr. Mona.
Tell me your intervention.
Give me your closing one, and then we'll move. Maybe we tie in with the issue of Ben Boachi as well. The VAT on the EC electricity as well. Maybe you can add that conversation to it.
First, I think that our discussions is a race to the bottom. We are talking about a challenge that we are facing today. And here we are talking about autopsy reports. Clearly, it doesn't match.
Yeah.
If there is an autopsy report, it must be given to the family and let the family go to the appropriate sources. So the family will have to go to the hospital that is responsible to obtain their autopsy report and not from Philemon or any other person. Second, probably maybe I should help my brother Eben. If we say deaths were occasioned during Dumso, assuming you were on oxygen and the lights goes off and takes a considerable time to be restored, you will suffer and you could die. Just as any other business could suffer and die. As we came close to the shortage or the increase in cost of dialysis in Accra, many people lost their lives because that dialysis center had to be closed down for a considerable period. So you can link it into that perspective. That's why these things are corollary to the incidents of Dumso, and of course, many businesses even died as a consequence. The reason for which generation was augmented. Today, we are running out of generation. And even as we are running out of generation, we are still in debt. We are owing those who helped us to ensure that our nation's capacity to generate energy was lifted. So what kind of people are we? So that is why I'm saying that when you have a Ken Ofori-Atta as the Minister for Finance, who cares only about his businesses and not the businesses of others and how the nation flourishes? This is where we are. Do you understand? This is the crisis and the monumental nature of the crisis we find ourselves in. So I'm expecting people like Ben that Ken Ofori-Atta owes. He's done so many contracts that they have not paid. That they should ensure that we put the energy in telling Ken Ofori-Atta and co to pay the IPPs. And once you pay the IPPs, you have liquefied them to be able to generate more. And once they generate more, these crises that we are having will reduce. Whilst government itself is making effort to add onto the generation capacity leading to 2025. I met somebody. When I brought to his attention that by 2025, our generation would have consumed all our generation, you know what the person told me? He said they will not be in power. Yes, they will not be in power. So the blame will be shifted to the new government, that why you have come and then they resume so. So deliberately, if you listen to such comments, it means that they know that they should begin to fix the problem, but they are postponing the solution and ensuring that why they push it towards 2025. When they lose, then they will start using that and say, look, you see, these people have world power and there is energy crisis. What kind of callousness do we have in our nation like this? And that is my concern. And of course, you see, I will not run away from Philemon when he said that we are in a nation of taxathon, and that Guinness Book of Records must recognize Ghana as the country with the most inflation taxes ever. And that whilst economies across the globe admit that no country can tax yourself to prosperity, Ken Ofori-Atta will always mislead Akufo-Addo to think that you can tax yourself out of poverty. Let me do this simple example. Eben is running a business, right? And today, you put a tax of 2%. He manages to pay. But once you put the tax of 2%, you have gone to increase tariffs on electricity, water. That also increases his overhead cost. When he realizes that at the end of the day, he's not able to break through or break even, he will reduce the number of people that he has employed, right? And probably try to expand the number of hours that he can work. If he is not able to break through, he will reduce the cost, the size of the business. Because of that, government tax revenue begin to go down. Then you go and increase taxes again from 2% to 5%, right? Then what is happening to Eben business is that since he cannot meet the obligations, he reduces his size of business. But you intending to make more revenue, the next time you go and increase it to 7%. So his business continue to dwindle whilst taxes continue to increase. What kind of warped economics is this? That is Ken Ofori-Atta we have. So we are in a nation of taxathon.
Okay, let me get some messages and then we're just having a tie-in of the tax on electricity so that we can comment on that. We'll try and see, we've got about 10 minutes or so. We'll try and see if we can do the very last conversation briefly. This one says, good morning, KMJ. Tell the NPP man to be serious with his submission and stop wasting our precious time. KMJ, I think this NPP man is just not prepared for the issues. Bernard is right. The NPP man is just about to waste. He doesn't know what he's saying. I suggest Bernard should lecture him before he comes on TV.
No. Hey, this man is a planner.
This one says, good morning, dear sir. They should stop pretending that they are the best. They should solve our problems, etc. Electrical problems. The country is full of cheating. They should stop lying to the people of Ghana. We are now educated. That's Gabriel from Salaga in the Savannah region, sending that one over here. This one says, KMJ, let's not turn our bad face towards the Black Stars. Let's share them up. What intervention is more than servicing the debit of the energy sector, which NDC was not doing? My friend was cooking his rice, and the rice cooker went off all of a sudden, doom so strike, and we have to throw the rice away. Hey, Charlie, they couldn't eat their rice. Good morning to you all. Please tell the NPP.
KMG, they were not hungry.
They would have eaten it.
They would have eaten it even raw.
Good morning to you all. Please tell the NPP man should stop false justification about the doom so during JDM. 2024, we are going to kick the NPP out of the office. Inshallah, a chance constituency for Honorable Owusu Brako, NDC-PC, and JDM. Samuel Owusu Brako, NDC-PC. Okay, Zinal Abdin Mohammed from Zongo. Caucus constituency coordinator, just everyone. Hey, this guy. Hello, good morning, sir. Mr. Host, please, I want to raise an issue. I have a brother of mine who's working with the EC, banning the exhibition, during the exhibition exercise, you mean to say. He has not been paid. Please, this NPP government think Ghanaians are not seeing what is going on in the country. Desmond from Amprobi. Desmond, If you've got proof, send it to us. Okay, send it to us here on WhatsApp. I'll forward it to Honorable, and let's see what can be done about it. Good morning. Please tell the NPP man that time will tell. That I, Mr. Bernard, take the watch out means more than to slap him. How are you looking at Honorable? That's Stella from Zoom. How do you guys see from the cameras? These cameras are very sensitive. KMJ, Ghanaian youth are angry, so tell that NPP man that to speak wisdom 2024 will come for them. Hey, I have a chair. I'm telling you, have a chair. Good morning, host. The NPP man started with the notion that at the time the NDC, it was financial issues and they couldn't pay. You never asked him if there was generational capacity at the time, but he later comes back to say there are a lot of villages which are now being enrolled on the power, which has led to the intermittent power cut, which clearly justified that at the time of the NDC, it was a generational capacity, not financial, because I would be very much surprised to hear a whole country cannot procure gas for continuous 4 years. How? Go and ask WAPCO. That's where all your problems begin. You have no idea. You don't have it. That's the thing. Let me go on this one. It says, good morning, KMJ. Please play the video of EC Boss declaration of 2020 election. For what purpose? Why do we need that now? Good morning. It is only in Ghana that if you solve a problem, then you are tagged as a cause. JJ Kufuor didn't solve the problem, but Mahama faced it squarely. This is a man you can trust. JDM all the way. God bless JDM. Isaac Baduwe Zibela sent in that. Let me go here. Ghana Gas has enough money to build AstroTurfs, but not to invest in needed pipeline. Visionless Akufo-Addo Bawumia, Patrick in Accra sent in that one. If your friend is punished for some reason, you don't have to repeat it. Only a fool does that. Kojo in Cape Coast. Kojo, this proverbial journey you are taking us on, what exactly do you intend? Okay.
You don't understand.
I'm trying to understand. Maybe you can help me.
The NDC was punished and booted out of office because there was energy crisis. Mm-hmm. The NPP comes and they are repeating the same. Mm. So if the NDC was punished for a foolish behavior, the NPP's behavior cannot be countenanced.
Okay, makes sense. Honorable will not say anything. Philemon, the taxation aspect, something very little, and let's see if we can make our last conversation a part of our conversation today.
For me, I just would remember the words of Nanado of Bawumia during their campaign, where they said they are going to move this country from taxation to production. And in line with their said mantra of production, they sloganeered one district, one factory. One village, one dam. All of these have been a monumental failure. One village, one district, one factory has been a failure. So they said sloganeering has failed. They said movement from taxation to production has failed. But what has subsisted and is alive today is that taxation has surged. Even betting has been taxed. Everything in this country has been taxed. So I think it's important for us to look the government in the face and tell them that you have given us a raw deal. We have taken note of the raw deal you have given the people of this country to charge. You see, those who consume power in this country, domestic consumers, are just about 30 to 35% of the general consuming populace of power in this country. And you are leaving the industries, you are leaving about 70% of the consuming populace of power to tax the 30%. I mean, how wise is this? How productive is this? And remember, these are people that are already inflicted with low salaries. These are workers who have been inflicted with an economy that has made their purchasing power weaker than ever before in the history of this country. This is a government that has made it difficult for businessmen to borrow to do business. This is a government that has made the exchange rate the highest ever in the history of this country, such that your $100 is now 1,300 cedis. I mean, how much of a failure can you be? You touted yourselves as the miracle, as a messiah, but the NDC's worst performance has been the best of the NPP's government. Okay. And you want to compare John Mahama and then Bawumia, a man, Bawumia, who has failed on every metric of economic assessment, a man that has failed on every metric of integrity. Bawumia has lost it. You see, in the North, we hold integrity dear to our hearts. In the North, lies are something we do not countenance. hardly will you see someone who was raised like I was to lie. Chief would bear testament to this. But unfortunately, the man Baumia is a deviation of the northern conduct of integrity.
Okay, let me go to Honorable. Honorable, your take on that.
To be honest and sincere with you, I've not had enough time to go through the statement being made by Braco on the issue of the taxation watching, on the issue of taxation on domestic generation of light. I am of the view that if it is true that there's a need for the electricity company of Ghana, and I don't think that it is the responsibility of ECG to say that we are implementing tax and VAT on on electricity that we are going to generate in our various homes. There might be some negotiation with certain sectors, and more especially the Ministry of Finance, to determine. And also, if it happens to be so, then I think that there's a need for government to intervene and see how best. If the ECG feels that, yes, we are not getting enough revenue. Recently, they were going about saying that they are doing some operations, something, to claim their debtors. Those who are owing them, they have to go and take their money and all those things. Those are some of the things that they need to do to make sure that they get money. And also to see how best that people who have done illegal connections, they will be able to rectify some of these things and maybe possibly prosecute them and get their money. But saying that you are going to introduce VAT on domestic, that's one. I think that there's something that we need to do about it. And as I said, I will not want to go into it so much because I don't have some much data about it. I need to get some documents to find out from what exactly they want to do, whether it is ECG or whether it is where this woman used to be, Nana Yajantua used to be, PURC. I mean, they are the people who are supposed to come up with some of these things. So I would not want to go into things that I don't have much sense about it.
Okay, so elections 2024, there has been concerns to implement ROPAA for presidential elections. Ghanaians living in abroad have been asking to vote, and there's a feature that speaks about it. I read it and I felt like, okay, between now and maybe we have elections, I don't know what we'll be able to do with this, but Bernard, what do you make of that?
Elections are localized. Any Ghanaian who wants to vote should come home and vote.
Instead of we extending...
If Ghana matters to you, come to Ghana and vote. Ghana cannot engage in the process of exporting our ballot to other places.
We're not capable of that, or it's something we don't want to look at.
Even the localized voting, what are the challenges? Now, if you do localized voting, you have political parties having representatives there, right?
Yeah.
We have political parties that goes to monitor first the ballot printing, the companies that have been selected. And then when you are going to print the ballot, political parties representatives are there. They provide the seals. So when the ballot is being transported, they are told what time the ballot will arrive. Political parties representatives are the regional or district police officers to see that the seals are intact. When the ballot is distributed, political parties representatives are there. Political parties are struggling to be able to meet this expenditure line. Then you take a ballot from Ghana to Kosmukaya, or you take a ballot from Ghana to Israel, where people are already in turmoil, maybe Gaza state. And you expect Ghanaian political parties to finance people to go and police the ballot. It's not going to work. So anybody that is interested in voting must come to Ghana. We've not reached a stage where you say that there is an electronic voting where when you use your ID card, and then there is a code, and once your ID card number is entered with the code, it means that you are done. Even that, with what we saw between George Bush and Al Gore, we have difficulties in accepting electronic voting as a panacea to the manual voting that we have. Because even in the so-called most advanced state, when electronic voting was transmitted, Al Gore was leading, and all of a sudden, the people manipulating the system were able to ensure that Al Gore did not get the victory that he deserved and that George Bush won. And so I think that, look, I have fought this. People were beaten in 2006, 2007. I was part of the concerned Ghanaians that led protests across the street on the anti-ROPAA bill. Recall that Danny Ofori Atta, you know Danny Ofori Atta? Look at the size of his stomach. It's about 4 times that of my brother Eben. Was able to run from the Liberation Nationalism Park towards the Osu Cemetery. He was caught up and was beaten by the police. Danny did not recover from that beating. He died. The late Farouk Brahma, tear gas was thrown at him at that protest for fighting the law. You don't take ballot and voting out of the jurisdiction. At that time, we went to Myong to go and vote, and then we realized that the ballot was not the proper ballot. It had to take helicopters to fly ballot to Myong to go and vote. And so, in the face of all those challenges, you want to now extend the problem that we are unable to manage locally to international borders. I think that a certain level of insanity is prevailing. Let us concentrate in perfecting what we have. Because if you want to vote, come home and vote.
Okay.
I know people like Asamoah Boateng and Co., Professor Yakubu Saka, Professor George Agbango, who is currently in town. Anytime it was getting to elections, and because Ghana mattered to them, they returned home to come and vote. Asamoah Boateng came to Ghana on many occasions to come and vote. Alex Egbefia came to Ghana to come and vote.
So it's possible.
It is the case that come to Ghana and vote. Don't extend any ballot anywhere to go and cause confusions. In any case, have you seen the suggestions? They are suggesting that our embassies should be used. Yes. Who is the head of the embassy? Do you understand? The people that we don't trust, they will be managing our elections. And so I am an ambassador. Then I'm appointed by MPP. And the only way I can continue to be ambassador is that the MPP wins office. Then you put ballot before me and say that I should.
It's a do and half, eh?
Oh, master.
What up, says, good morning, Mr. Host. Kindly let the NDC man tell us how the Doomsa and the Mahama came about, as opposed to now. Good morning. The NDC man just want to be heard loud, but truth be told, Mahama was voted out of power due to power failures and incompetencies. NPP is working, and we will surely get there. Daniel in Aboso Klein sent in that one.
No, this man voted. Daniel voted for Ebenezer, but Ebenezer did not win. I know him.
Oh, you know him? Okay, so that will be our comments, and I think we're pressed for time too. I wanted to do 1 minute for you, but you're good.
1 minute, I can do that.
Please do 1 minute for 1 minute.
I'm speaking my capacity as a lawyer, and by virtue of that, an officer of the court. You see, the issue at hand about ROPAA is that it's an act of Parliament. Parliament passed a law. A group called the Progressive Alliance Movement sued in court, which is why all of this. So in principle, I agree with everything Chief Bernard has said. I do not support that we entrust the responsibility of voting into the hands of politically appointed ambassadors and other diplomats in Ghana's embassies abroad. But as we speak, it's a matter of law. And I think that the Supreme Court should begin to look at this matter within the ambit of, look at the public policy considerations. Because this is a recipe for chaos. Already, we have an EC that cannot be trusted, an EC whose credibility is in the tatters, an EC led by Jean Mensah and Bosman Asare, who have denigrated the image of the EC. So now is a wrong time for us to even consider it, because those that are leading the charge of the Electoral Commission are themselves bereft of some credibility. So let's hold on with this. And the Supreme Court, maybe the group that went to court, the Progressive Alliance group, should come back to court. Perhaps there should be a certain real look by the Supreme Court on this matter for us to progress. But now it's a wrong time.
It's a wrong time. Just like Ben said. Now, Daniel Transalpon says, good morning. Please, Honorable Eben is really doing justice to the issue. Honestly, in terms of electricity issues under the NDC, people's hard-earned business collapsed. We're not saying all is well, but NPP is on course. Daniel Transa from Oboso Klein sent in that one. You know this one too?
That's the same Daniel.
I said Daniel. Oh,
Daniel.
Okay, Daniel will be everywhere today. This one says, following live. Daniel again. Oh, Oh, then you are right, though.
I said, I know him. That's a Ben support.
Element says, what about our DDEP? And let me see if we have any other one that, okay. This one says that, good morning, watching live from Lavrongo, Upper East Region. Good to know. Colin Jam Moses. Mami Janet says, good morning, Joy Prime. Watching live from Asen Fosu. Okay, so those are some of the messages that you've sent to us. And that'll be all for today.
Let me also send my commiserations.
Oh, but you have to do 1 minute for me. The producers are killing me right now.
No, I send commiserations to the Vice President.
You do that so we wrap up quickly.
The question that we need to ask ourselves, so when are we going to get the time to implement ROPAA? If we are saying that there's not the time.
When is going to
I
be the time?
remember that every 4 years when this issue comes out, we always say this is not the right time. This is not the right time. I don't know what the right time will be. ROPAA was passed in 2006. So 18 years now. We have run about 4 or 5, almost 4 elections after the passage of ROPAA. We are saying that we are not ready for it, all because the suggestion being made by Electoral Commission is that those who are going to have oversight responsibility at where these elections will be held outside the country are appointees of government. But the question that we need to ask ourselves, in which institutions supervise election in this country that they are not appointees by government? I keep on saying that Afarijan was appointed by President Rawlings. But in 2000, he declared President J.A. Kufuor. Charlotte Osei was appointed by John Mahama. But in 2016, he declared Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as a president. Jean Mensa was appointed, or is appointed by President Akufo-Addo. If Ghanaians say that yes, we want John Mahama, there's nothing that she can do about it. So sometimes I ask myself, so what would the EC or what would be the official, what are they going to do? Are they going to put ballot papers?
Parliament was hoodwinked by the executive to pass a very bad law. That 18 years down the line, that law is unimplementable. So it is not every decision of Parliament that is the right decision.
We are not implementing because of the political meaning that we are really.
So if there was political meaning,
when there was political meaning
that will make it
when there's a Congress for political parties, the NDC and the MPP, which I don't know about PNC, and I know your nomination form issues have been suspended. So I've even saved my money. I'm waiting for the day that it will be open. I'll go and pick the form for you.
Thank you.
All the political parties have international relation directors.
And your people came to Ghana to come and vote. You didn't take the ballot to them.
You are looking at
you took the ballot. The people came here.
Specific number of people that are supposed to come.
They came here to vote.
And I'm saying a specific number.
Did you take the ballot to them?
No, we don't take the ballot to them, but we have specific number that this country, or all those diaspora people, we need 50 people. So if we have about 20 or 30 countries, select the 50 people. That's when we're talking about Ghanaians. Even in Afghanistan, we have Ghanaians there.
Okay.
Tuvalu, we have Ghanaians.
So for me, I think
you have to take it to Tuvalu.
Exactly. And it's something that we have to take
a look at. People there, you have MPP people there.
They are PNC
there. But importantly, I commiserate with the family of our brother Hussein who died. I have known him. I think that he was a gentleman. Many of these people, they die these deaths simply because they want to protect their bosses. And in the course of doing so, he has died. How we are able to take care of their families. Soon after all these, our lamentations and commiserations, everyone forgets about them. And it is the pain of the children and the wives, sometimes who to call and who to speak to. I pray that we don't behave the usual way that we behave. And also to say to my Wala community in Accra, we lost one of our own. I was just told this morning that one of the persons who ensured many of our people got places. Negro, we normally call him Negro, that he passed on yesterday. And today they will be doing what we call the Ansuma at just Alajo here. As many as can join should join so that we can do the needful and pray for our brother to transit to the ancestral world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bernard Mona, for joining us this morning. And thank you very much, Lawyer Philemon La, for joining us as well. And Honorable, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm hopeful.
The Bimoba Students Union an apology. He told them he was going to give me a letter, and he declined to give me the letter. And then
why are you surprised?
And I got to Bumpurugu, heading to Boku for Samanpi. Then the students are hijacking me to come for a program.
Oh my God!
No, customarily, I cannot be against what my chief is. No matter what my perspective is, my chief is right.
Yeah, okay.
I cannot.
Even if he's lying.
I cannot
Don't lie.
No, I cannot.
Remember Buguri Nabu?
That'll be our conversation for this morning here on this flash. Hopefully we're back again tomorrow with another one. But of course, the show continues. The Sierra Golden Girl is standing by with the latest in trends and also your birthday wishes as well. She's looking very beautiful this morning. Trust me. Oh, she'll come. Don't worry.
The gorilla girl.
Yeah. I had to do an undertone with that. I don't want trouble. All right, so please do stay. A bit later to Women in Business is coming up as well. We've got conversations on entertainment. Kwaku Darlington will be joining us for that as we wrap up the show for this morning. But of course, there's still more to come. Sports. Nathaniel will be giving you an update on what the Black Stars seek to achieve with the AFCON and whether we'll get to the permutations and all of that. But we don't want to get to that point.
Not just the Black Stars, but football administration and the kind of mafia school that is going on. Look, people just take football. You run the football administration anyhow. Regions are running football administration from their pockets. There is no transparency, no democracy. Hey, it's a mafia thing.
Media, don't
and then at the end of the day, you expect results. You cannot get results for poor planning. You have your own status, rules and regulations. You are not living by them. And then things are not going well. Then you think that the players should perform magic.
It's not possible.
Do you understand? Kevet, it's a small place.
Yeah.
Their team is meeting almost every day. Their players are not foreign. They are meeting regularly. They train. There is telepathy. You go and catch somebody from, your friend is saying, Germany. Go and catch another person from Italy. Go and catch another person from England. They understand. Then you come and say that, oh, come and play together. And then you expect that there will be cohesion. There is no cohesion because administration is poor.
Yeah.
But now
and I think that, look, it will get to a time states will leave or will take themselves out of football because FIFA says that governments should discontinue or disassociate themselves from football administration. Yet government finances football. I cannot be putting money in a venture and I cannot have a control over that venture.
My support was...
Make me president and I'll tell the FIFA that we will move out of FIFA.
I have a protest.
Okay.
On Mondays, when Rosalie is in the chair, Bernard sits here.
Okay.
The last time I made a protest that I also want to come and sit here.
And you are sitting
and I'm sitting here and the Rosalie
is not there. That should be a motivation for Bernard then.
So he personally realized that because Rosalie is not coming, he will come and sit here. But as
Bernard, you come
as Philomene said, because he's a chief, because he's a chief, I don't want to complain.
That's like Philemon.
It means that I am a normal human being.
Thank you so much for being a part of the News Flash segment.